Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. There are two types of students who complete their medical graduation, post-graduation. One type are those who are always having gold medal, silver medal, plastic medal, and they are always in ranks. And after they complete their education with all medals, thereafter they go and again become the college professors. They don't practice because to practice you require, in addition to knowledge, something more. See? Like, I am a teacher. I teach you how to live a married life. But I cannot get married because I cannot do it. See? Therefore, simply knowledge that I have complete knowledge about gynecology and all these things, they are required. But in addition to the science, we require also technology. What is technology and science? Science is the basic information about the things, and technology is application of that information in practical life. See? Just now, as I heard few words from somebody, that before we decide about the oncological operation, we have to confirm. Does it mean that there are people who are doing it without confirmation? See? Therefore, we have to first of all be at peace with ourselves, then only we can give peace to others. Otherwise, we cannot. And this can be achieved only if our attention is on the instrument by which we are functioning. See? Like when we are playing, let's say, sitar. So, where from the music comes? Music comes from the instrument sitar. And there are strings on that, wires. And those wires must have optimum tension. If they are loose, like the wires where we put on our clothes for drying, or they are so tense that the moment the bow or the hand touches, it breaks. In both the cases, you cannot bring out the music. So we require tension. But that tension should be attention and not only attention. So when we are thus able to maintain an optimum tension on those wires, one aspect. Suppose you are properly tuned and kept it. Will music come out of it? Somebody has to play. Now the person who is playing the music, he must be relaxed. See, your light is on. मैं सोच रहा लाइट मार रही है. So, the person who is playing on that instrument, he must be relaxed. If he is not relaxed, he is also tense, like the instrument, it will be a calamity. Exactly the same way. You as a doctor must be in a proper tension. And what is that proper tension? Be very attentive. I'll take you to Bhagavad Gita whether you want or you don't want. Because that tells you how to live life, not how to die. Do you know, for the first time, when one Australian came to meet me, maybe about 30 years before, so I asked him, hey, when did you come? He said, to die. I said, I didn't ask you the purpose. I said, when did you come? He said, to die. Now I come to know they mean today as to die. See? So, expressions differ from person to person. But meaning we have to bring out. In the same manner, It may be only the gynecological problem, but the patient to patient it is separate. You cannot generalize it. It is a unique one. Now, this particular situation we see in Bhagavad Gita. As regards the knowledge and expertise in warfare is concerned, Arjuna was the best that time. He was not second, he was the first. And yet, something went wrong and he became nonplus. Now let us analyze this particular situation. In Bhagavad Gita, all the teachers, they go on telling you so many things. Bhagavad Gita talks about Karma Yoga, then Bhakti, Jnana, all these things. None of them were practiced by Arjuna. He was on the battlefield between the two armies. Will he sit and do meditation there? Cannot be. Will you take the mala in the hand and Jai Gurudev, Jai Gurudev? No. Then what happened? See. So, in his words, Dharma Sammudha Cheta, I am confused about my role given at this moment. See, friends. And after the whole Bhagavad Gita was heard, what was the question asked by the teacher? That, has your delusion gone? And his answer is, Nashto mohaha smriti labda tat prasadat maya chuta. Yes, dear, all my delusions gone. Now the question is, delusion about what? Delusion about, basic is about our identity at a given period of time. See, one of my friend, doctor friend in Australia, he is very expert in this appendicitis operations. He can even put his finger and take it out and throw it away. So expert. And it so happened that his son was to be operated. And I was there that time. So he has called his friend to operate on the patient. I say, hey, you have done on me, what about him? Why don't you do? He said, no, Swamiji, we don't do that. Now what is the reason? Only one reason. At that particular time, when the operation is performed, what is the relationship? Is it a patient and doctor, or is it a son and father? See, friends. So all of us have the same problem. There is no new problem. What we are at a given period of time, if we remember it 100%, the best in you will come out. See? But what happened to Arjuna? He was on the battlefield as a warrior, but instead of a warrior coming out of him, who came out? The grandson, the disciple and the brother. Now, after you take this wrong position in your life, thereafter, whatever you think, it may appear to be right, but the context is wrong. See, friends. Now, when he talks and gives lot of logic and reason, that, see, how can I kill my grandfather and my guru? Yes, it is not right to kill grandfather and guru. And yet, Bhagavan Krishna did not agree with him. See, friends, this is the basic of our life in whatever profession you are. We have to remember these basic facts. When we are doing anything, whether you are at home as wife or daughter-in-law or mother-in-law, or whether you are in the office or in the operation theatre, that time our roles must not be mixed up. They have to be distinctly clear. And then only all the knowledge that we have will start surfacing, and then it will be available. For that, basics about our life must be understood. About this, I'll tell you one small story. Once I was going many years before with some big Mahatma. I was sitting in the front, the driver was driving, and Mahatma was sitting backside. many years before, maybe 30, 40 years, in Rajasthan. Our car stopped for whatever reason. So, what to do? I said, I don't know. They find out. So, I got out of the car and looked around. Below one tree, there was one boy who was doing some tuk-tuk with some old jeep. So, I told him, hey, come and see what happened. He came, his mouth was packed with pan. And therefore, there is no question of talking to him. See? And I said, see, look here. So, with their mouth full and singing, he asked only by signs, open the bonnet, he opened it. Again, his music continued. He looked here and there, took one stone and hit on one or two places. They said, now start. He started. So that Mahatma asked me, ask him how much we have to pay. I said, how much we have to pay? He said, 100 rupees. Mahatma got angry. What you have done? Only hit two stones and 100 rupees. I said, hey, this is what you explain. Now he has to talk. So he has sacrificed his pan. And then he said, Maharaj, for hitting the stone, I have charged 1 rupee. Where to hit? For that, I have charged 99 rupees. See the difference? This we have to very clearly understand. When we complain about life, when we complain about relations, when we complain about our profession, when we complain about the people, all the good and bad experiences, where are they happening? See, friends, all experiences happen only in the mind. Body has no experience. This is theoretically we say, but it doesn't click us personally. I'll tell you my experience where I got this clear understanding. From that day onward, everything changed. See, once somebody came, did namaskar to me, and on my right big toe, there was some growth, red size, this much like this. So he said, Swamiji, what happened to your toes? There is some growth. I said, yes, it is a wisdom toe that I am growing. He said, no, it's not a matter of joke. It is serious. You have to do something. I said, okay, I'll do. Then he said, no, I am a doctor. I can operate. I said, okay, let's go. So I went with him. Sat on the chair, put my leg on the stool. He gave local anesthesia. After 15 minutes, he asked, how do you feel? I said, I am feeling emotional. You are taking so much care. Said, no, not that. Are you getting any feeling over there? I said, no. Then he said, now you can watch operation. He took the scalpel and cut and remove it like a ice cream scoop. And he said, oh, you are lucky. Everything has come out. Nothing is remaining behind. Then he removed it and then stitched. And I was seeing everything. That time I thought, I am a great realized yogi. See, they are cutting my toe, but I am not getting any pain. I am realized. I was so happy for half an hour. After that, when that effect of that medicine has gone, oh God, Swamiji, take some painkiller. I said, look here, what is a painkiller which kills you without pain? It's not a curative medicine. That day I realized. When the operation was done, that time, that toe was in meditation, the mind was not allowed to enter. The moment the mind entered that area, the miseries began. Therefore, when we are functioning in any field, not only your medical field, any field, where should be our attention? Attention has to be at the mind. Like I am talking to you. Now, where is my attention? It could be in three places. Either it is on you, or it is on me, or it is on my mind. See, if my attention is on you, what is my expectation? That I am talking to you, you are listening carefully, and you will change, and this will never happen. So, net result is I am frustrated. See? Second place, that my attention will be on myself. I am giving the lecture, these are ignorant people, I don't know if they understand or not. My ego will become very strong. The third possibility, my attention is on the quality of my mind before I begin a job, during the execution of the job, and after the job is over. Is my mind absolutely the same? That principle which keeps our mind always at the same level, that principle is called as inspiration. An inspired person is at peace before the job, during the job, and after the job. And this inspiration is such a chemical which is like a catalytic agent. What's a catalytic agent? It will enhance the speed and quality of the chemical process without getting itself lost. Exactly the same way. Ordinary doctor, inspired doctor. Ordinary wife, inspired wife. Ordinary husband, inspired husband. Ordinary student, inspired student. Inspiration goes with everything. And therefore, the first thing, if we want to be really successful in life, in whatever field you are, we have to be inspired. Now the question comes, what are the symptoms of inspiration? First, never give up. Don't give up under any condition. We have to be here. We have to live in this world, not only to live because we are not dying, but to succeed. Success is the goal of life. Not somehow living. No, no. And then only that inspiration begins, really active in our life. And when this is done, then the student's attention is on the mind, is at peace, and then you will see a peaceful mind is the mine of all solutions. A disturbed mind is a mountain of all problems. Disturbed mind cannot think properly. A peaceful mind thinks exactly as it is required. And therefore, instead of complaining about our mind and about our profession, what we have to do is to see and find out to whom the problems are. See, friends, you must have experienced this. When a patient goes to the emergency department along with somebody with him, now the people who are taking the patient to the emergency department, he doesn't know, the patient doesn't know. But you doctors in the emergency department, you have seen only emergency, so you are not worried. But that time, this patient and the person accompanying, they are so excited and they start condemning, oh, you people are irresponsible, wow, it goes on. But because you are expert in that, you are relaxed. So the first sign of inspired person is he is not excited, he is at peace and well composed. Number one. Number two, he is able to see the positive aspect that it can be done, it's not impossible. Third aspect, no complaints. Many people have this attitude of complaints. See, actually I wanted to do, but the people are like that, government is like that. Stop complaining. Complaints cannot solve the problems. One of my NRI friend came from US and he was driving me from Bombay to Pune on the national highway. And you know, in India, democracy is not limited to human beings. It is extended to the animals also. So when he was driving, suddenly a group of buffaloes were crossing. So he had to stop. And he became very uneasy and angry. Swamiji, what is this? I said, buffaloes. Simple. Why they are here? I said, I am not a buffalo. You ask them. How can you be so cool? I said, by your excitement. Do you think buffaloes will understand why you are excited? Then I asked him, tell me, who has the driving license? Do you have the driving license or the buffaloes have the walking license? If you have the driving license, your ability should help you negotiate through all kinds of turmoils on the road. In the same manner, if you are a doctor, if you are frustrated, Doctor Saab, pata nahi, I also don't know. See, there was one person taken for operation and the doctor was telling, पांडे जी फिक्र मत करो, ठीक हो जाएगा, घबराने की कोई जरूरत नहीं. पांडे जी फिक्र मत करो. So the patient heard 2-3 times and said, sir, my name is not Pandey. He said, no, my name is Pandey. This was his first operation. So he was telling to himself, फिक्र मत करो, हो जाएगा. See, friends. So if we are in a position to do something, not only we should not complain, but we must have the positive approach in life. Many people have got this negative approach. And what is the negative approach? I'll give an example. Once in Coimbatore, there's a very huge hospital. And Dr. Bhaktavatsala is the founder in charge. So he is a very good friend of mine. He was opening new department, geriatrics, which I don't know what it is. But we are fit for everything. Now take here, gynecological conference. There a man is called who is not married. Can there be a better joke than this? See? Therefore life is full of joy. You look at it in this light. So they called me for inauguration of a geriatric department. And I don't know what is geriatrics. But we have to pretend I know everything. So I went there and imported doctors were involved because Indian doctors don't know. But when the same people go to USA and other place, have a foreign stamp, they become expert. So like imported NRI doctors came. So first doctor started showing the slides. Those who show the slides and the PowerPoint, they are confused about themselves. Therefore, they require the support. Why you require the slides? And what they do? Put it there and the same thing they read. Why waste time? Just tell them, Google it over. So, he started showing the PowerPoint. First slide he showed. This is my house. So I said, okay, geriatrics means a house building department. Then the second slide. This is my dog. Oh, it is the animal department. Very good. Third, this is my wife. So in order of importance, the slides were presented. And then I came to know that it is about the oldies. So after 3-4 doctors spoke, then they say, Swami, now you can inaugurate, light the lamp and cut the ribbon. I said, am I allowed to speak or simply keep quiet? He said, no, we want your blessings. Then I said, you doctors have created havoc in this world. Why don't you allow the people to die? You keep on them on ventilation and all that for years together. What for? Instead of giving them wrong hopes, give them right wisdom. See, friends, if your mind is at peace, then only you can understand this. What should be done? See, up to this, wonderful. Now, focus your mind on something higher. There is none in this world who has come to live eternally. We are here only for a short period of time. Like we are in this beautiful facility, not for whole life. When our time is over, we have to get out. Exactly the same way. We have to remember this and live dynamically, not negatively. How a negative person lives. Another example. I was going with a small child for a walk in some other country. So his grandfather said, Swamiji, shall I join with you? So how can I say no to the old man? Geriatrics. I said, okay, come. And there was a huge lake. So this child and me, we went and sat on the lake side. And then he put his feet in the waters and he had something to eat. So he was playing. I was also playing with him. He threw some eatables in the waters. So many fish came and we were enjoying that. Now this old man also came and he said, Swamiji, what are you doing? I said, I am doing meditation. What can you talk? He also said. And then he told his grandson, Beta, one day we all have to die. The child gave a beautiful reply. He said, Dadaji, but the rest of the days we can live. He said, think of living. At the same time, remember, we have got a limited time. These two things are common for all of us. One, limited time, and second, unlimited potentiality. Just before coming here in Bengaluru, I was in Narayan Hrudayalayam. You must have heard the name. Dr. Devi Shetty is a very good friend of mine. This time he was not there. He sent a message that I had to go out. I said, never mind. So, you will see there so many patients from all over the world. All of them are constantly hundreds and thousands and millions of them coming. Why they come over there? Because there is some kind of positive thing. It can be done. Don't worry, it will be over. So this positive approach in life is one of the most essential when we are dealing, and it can be done when there are no complaints whatsoever. In this manner, slowly we start working on our mind. Now I am taking you to the next step. We all take care of our house. See? House should be like this. The color pattern should be like this. Drapery should be like this. Furniture should be like this. Nothing wrong. Clothes should be matching. See, although I am a Babaji, my clothes are matching. And then about food we take care, organic food. You should not eat inorganic food. I have never understood what is the meaning of organic and inorganic food. So, very good, take care. We take care of our figure also. We should have a good figure, very good. Now tell me, what we have done in our whole life to take care of our mind. We are never taught how to use the mind at home by our parents. We are never taught how to use the mind in schools and colleges. We are never taught how to utilize the mind in the profession. And that is the mind with which we are conducting all the business of life. See, friends. And once you start working on your mind, see what happens. Your vision changes. And what is the change in the vision? You are initiated in a process of learning from every passing experience. I'll tell you one or two examples. In Delhi, where I was staying, we had a carpenter. He has to do some repairs in my house. So he came and he said 3-4 days are enough. But 4 days over, still he was doing. And when he will do, first of all he'll come half an hour only sharpening the instruments. I said, how much will you do it? He put it down. He said, you don't know anything. When you use an instrument, you have to take care of it. Now tell me what a great wisdom it is. We are using our mind day and night. But what care we have taken? Zero. Therefore, let us understand the functioning of the mind. When we interact with the world, it is not the body that is interacting, the mind that is interacting. So when we interact, what happens to the mind? Two things happen. When we react, there is one thing. And when we learn, there is another thing. See, one more example. This happened in a South Indian family. I was in their house for taking food, and then after that we went out. So I told that child, I said, "Hey, don't you ask your father to get some chocolates when we come back?" Yes, yes, yes. So she told, "Papa, please get me nice chocolates." He said, "Okay." We finished the whole day, and I knew he had not purchased. So we came back. And then I went to that girl. I just like noise. I don't like peace. So I went and I said, "Give Chavi to that child." I said, "Hey, ask your papa has brought chocolate or not." So when he will say no, then she'll cry and ha hoo how. That is the house. Otherwise, like a hospital. So I told her, and she, yes, Swami, he went. She went. "Papa, my chocolates." "Oh, beta, I have forgotten." And she was cool and went back. My plan failed. So I asked her, "How come he didn't bring anything? Are you not disturbed?" He said, "No, Swamiji, if he brings, it is a surprise. I know he does nothing." Even the child has understood. So, two things. When you react, it is a different experience. And when you learn, it's a different experience. And with every passing day in our life, if we take this as, in addition to your medical practice, if you take this as every day, we have to learn, learn, learn. And when we start learning, what will happen? With every passing day, we will grow wise because we have learned. See, friends. And what will be the learning? Be attentive. When learning happens, wisdom manifests. Wisdom is light. When learning doesn't happen, impressions happen on the mind. And impressions are only two. I like something, I dislike something. There is no third impression. And as a result, with every passing day, we keep on accumulating too many impressions on our mind. Slowly, our second nature is developed. Our second nature and our essential nature. These are the two things. Essentially, we are all good and divine. Nobody is bad. By default setting, we are perfect. See, friends, one day I was in somebody's house for dinner. Going to people's house for dinner is my professional requirement and calamity. 365 multiplied by 3. So many places I go in a year to take food. Asha also gives me good time. See, so I went there, and husband was talking to his wife. He has purchased one iPhone, and he says, "So look here, these fellows, they are taking money, but hardly 3 months, and it is hanging. It is not working properly." And he was complaining. So when husband complains, wife is happy. "You know nothing. Go and ask Swamiji." Now look here, iPhone, and what do I know? So he came, "Swamiji, the case is referred to you. Please tell what to do." I said, "Okay, go to settings." He went to settings. Scroll down. Yes. So there is a option, restore factory settings. Click that. He clicked. And then there is another option. All data will be erased. Yes and no. Say yes, he did yes. I said, "Now restart." He restarted. Started. What a joy, Swamiji. How you did it? I said, "This is your and my story. Our factory settings, we are all happy." Then why the phone hangs? Because unwanted free downloads. We keep on downloading so many apps which we never use. Now, if you look into your own phones, there are more than 95% apps you have never used. Why don't you delete it? Similarly, all rubbish what apps come, keep on accumulating. There is no need. Exactly the same way, right from childhood, so many things we have downloaded. friends, enemies, good, bad, and as a result, when we come to the mid-age crisis, you know the mid-age crisis, that time the instrument starts hanging up. Misunderstanding between the husband and the wife. Whatever he says is wrong, whatever she says is not right. And this is how the whole life begins, but they don't understand that they have downloaded unwanted garbage and that is creating problem. See, friends, therefore, if we have to work on our mind, this is the principle. Best principle I have discovered is this: learn from every passing experience of life. Then your vision changes. Ishavasya says, Ishavasyamidam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat. When your vision changes, your interaction will change. See? And then you learn. You discover something beyond the obvious. Imagine if I was with Newton in that apple garden, and if I was walking with him, what I would have done? When the apple fell down, he discovered the law of gravity. What I would have done? Taken that apple, clean it, and start eating. See, friends, in the same manner, the wisdom grows if you are able to learn from every experience. Then things are the same, but you see something different. One more example I'll tell you. I had in my left leg, I was giving a lecture like this in Australia recently. And when I got up from my lecture, I was unable to walk. The leg became so hard like wood and so painful, I just couldn't walk. Somebody has to hold me, and with one leg, somehow I went to my room. And there are so many doctors. What happened? What happened? What happened? Should we take X-ray? Should we do this, a fracture, a hairline fracture, all kinds of things going on. And somebody tied a tight bandage and all that. And there was one old lady, very nice one. When everybody went, she said, Swami, remove all that. I'll set it okay. Then she told me, this is nothing but uric acid. It has nothing to do with anything. Then she gave me a lot of warm water to drink and did little bit of massage with some oil on the hard part. In about 5-6 hours, I had to go to urination at least for half a dozen or more times. And then it was all released. It became normal. See? Others were also doctor, but they were conditioned. See, if you go to an oncologist and you tell him, Doctor, I got a headache, there must be cancer. Doctors, oncologists cannot think except cancer. They cannot think because they are trained that way. Our mind is not open. See how we are conditioned by our own this training of thinking in life. This is another important principle. We have learned everything, but we have never learned how to think. We imagine because there are thoughts in the mind, we are thinkers. No. Because there are thoughts in the mind, if we have become thinker, then because there are trees, it is a garden. No, it could be a jungle also. Need not be a garden. Now, what is the difference between garden and a jungle? You don't feel like going to a jungle. There is always fear. And when we go to the garden, aha, so nice place. Now, what is the difference? In a garden, every tree, every plant is culled, pruned, protected, spaced, and selected beautifully. In jungle, there is no rhythm. It's all wild. Now be attentive. Go back to your mind. We all suffer 99%, never because of others. We suffer because of our own mind. So, learn how to mind our mind. And when you Start this process of learning. See what happens. One more example. This happened in Rishikesh. I was standing on the banks of Ganges and enjoying that calm evening breeze. So one or two persons there. They said, Swamiji, what are you seeing? I said, the same thing what you are seeing. Ganges, I said, yes. He said, no, you don't see that. You see something different always. You are abnormal. I said, okay, tell me. What you are seeing? He said, I am seeing Ganges, beautiful, so many people. Now you tell. I said, okay. I am not seeing Ganges. I am not seeing water. I am seeing the flow of water. First. Second thing. Here I am seeing two types of movements of water. One movement is unidirectional, starting from Gangotri going to Gangasagar, one direction. And there is a second movement in the whirlpool, Baura. Now these two movements. So something is flowing, maybe some animal or a wooden log or anything, where it is coming in the general flow of the river, it comes across one whirlpool. Now what is the movement of the water in the whirlpool? It is centripetal. It will be pulled. It will suffer, suffocate. How long? For some time. And for no reason, it will be thrown out. Again it will continue. Again it will come across another bhora. Again it will be sucked down. Again suffer, suffocate. Again thrown out. Then what? I said, this is our life. Our life's journey is unidirectional, from the womb to the tomb. All of us. There is no speciality for anybody. Second thing, there is this whirlpool. What is the whirlpool? Body identification. When body identification happens, our mind is thinking only in relation to the body. The mind cannot think beyond it. It will happen, for example, if I hold this object in my hand, as it happens on airports, you have the phone in your hand, and suppose you have to write something, you don't want to leave the phone anywhere lest you may forget. So we keep the phone in the hand, take the pen and write. So our hold on the phone will influence our handwriting, is it not? Exactly the same way. When our mind is preoccupied with our body identification, the mind have to think only in relation to that body. Now, these are basics of life. See? And then the mother-in-law, daughter-in-law story begins. I have seen one impossible mother-in-law in this world. What is impossible mother-in-law? She has a lot of understanding. See, mother-in-law having understanding is impossible. So, she, a Nepali girl, lady, she got a boy for her, girl for her son from Kathmandu. Very good girl, got married, came. After 2 months, she started showing her colors. He said, I don't want to stay with your mother, we have to stay separately. This is in USA. So the son was in a most miserable condition. So the mother told him, Beta, you don't have to prove that you love me. You are my son, I know that. You have to prove to that girl that you love her. So first take care of her. Don't worry about me. Now tell me, if this wisdom is there, where there is a problem in this world? Therefore, although we are functioning through the body, but we have to remain aware of this. Then are we coming under too much influence of our body identification, or we are looking at the situation with an open mind? And what is the open mind? Be at peace. Gita says, Yasmanno dvijate loko, lokanno dvijate jayaha. We must not be a problem for others and don't take anybody as a problem in your life. See? This is working on mind. And when we thus become aware that real process of leading a quality life is when we start working on our mind. Recently in Bangalore, one person asked me this question. Swamiji, um, animals are born, they grow, they eat and they sleep and they die. What is great about human beings? You people always tell that human beings are the crown in creation. What is great about it? I said, nothing great. You live like an animal. Grow, eat, don't get married, don't have a house, don't have a family. And one day somebody will come and shoot you and die. Who stops you? Do that. See? If we are human being, be attentive. We have reached a point beyond that. What is the next stage of evolution? Now we are working on mind. Stones and bricks, they evolved, they became plants. Plants evolved, they became animals. Animals evolved, they become human beings. Now what is next? Have we come to a cul-de-sac? Is it a blind end? Then what next? The next is the spiritual evolution. Thereafter, our life's every activity is only a spiritual activity if it is keeping our mind in tune with the divine will. See, friends, it is so important. One of my good friends is old now. She is a gynecologist in Rajasthan and a wife of a very big man. So I always ask her, I say, Mama, have you stopped giving birth to these children? Swamiji, I stopped. I say, why? He said, no, I have done sufficient. Now I have no more interest in that field. Now I have come to a point. Now, what for I am here? What is the purpose of my life? And in this, I am able to be more creative than constantly struggling in life. Therefore, like we cannot remain in KG1, KG2 throughout life, we have to grow. In the same manner, our field of your medical practice is the means, but we have to grow. And that growth is beginning with working on our mind. Work on the mind. What is the working on the mind? Okay. We work by our body and we work on our body. How do we work by our body? Do all the business and earn money for bread and butter. And how do we work on the body? We go to gym, we do exercise, we do yoga. That is for working on the body. Same principle. We are working by the mind and we have to work on the mind also. Now what is working by the mind? Default settings. We all have these default settings. We Indians particularly. What are default setting? Anybody you meet, like I move around the world, same thing. Swamiji, where are you from? When were you born? Why were you born? Whether a normal delivery or a cesarean? And how long you are going to live? What is the need? Default settings. Collecting information about everybody for no reason. Second thing, we keep on talking to others about our past. I am taking you deeper, be attentive. When we talk about our past all the time, I was there, I was here, I had done this thing, I had done that thing, then by default, we keep our body identification intact. Childhood belonged to the body, not to me. Teenage belongs to the body, not to me. Middle age belongs to the body, not to me. But when I talk about the childhood, etc., I am keeping my body identification intact. Swamiji, you have also given some examples. about your past. What about that? I gave those as examples wherefrom I have learned. When you learn, you don't discover like or dislike. For example, we all in our childhood have touched somewhere or the other fire, a candle, a matchstick, or a fuljadi, something. And because of that, our hand got burned. So we have learned. What we have learned? Fire burns. And after we have learned, do we have hatred or liking for the fire? We accept it. Yes, fire burns. There is no question why the fire burns. But then, thereafter, we decide how to interact. Exactly the same way. When you learn from your experiences, you will not gather any impressions on the mind. Such a mind will never be biased in favor or against anything or anybody. Therefore, one of the technique of working on the mind is don't bring your past in the present. Don't talk about your past. Don't ask anybody about their past. This is the training we Indians are given right from childhood. And the training overpowers us. This is the default settings. Mind is constantly getting extrovert. Now stop that. Second thing. We keep on talking to ourselves. Be attentive. We talk to ourselves with reference to future. After this lecture is over, I don't know, it's not getting over. I don't know, it was 40 minutes or 45 minutes or 1 hour. I had to go and if children are waiting. See? Whenever we talk to others, we talk about the past. Whenever we talk to ourselves, we talk about the future. Net result, we are not in the present. Now, next step. Do we have a choice to live in the past or to live in the future? No choice. We have to live in the present. So why not act natural? This is all Bhagavad Gita tells. On the battlefield, Arjun was a warrior, so he has to be a warrior and do the job. Over. And ultimately he did the same thing. See friends, in the same manner, whenever, suppose you have got one patient, you have checked everything, patient goes away. Now along with the patient, that diagnosis also goes away. Next patient comes, again you are fresh. It's not. First patient came with a dysentery and you treated or given the medicine, he goes. But the dysentery doesn't go with him, it remains in your head. Then the second patient comes. He is having constipation, but you treat for dysentery because your head is carrying dysentery. See friends, the more we remember this simple principle of life, we have to remain in the present all the time and there is no choice. Now the last thought. When we are thus committed and understood that we have to live in the present, no choice, and whatever we are doing, don't do anything to get happiness in life. Don't seek happiness. Then express happiness. Whatever you are doing, do it happily. Or else don't do it. It's such important thing, friends. What we do, if I do this thing, I will get this result, then I will be happy. So what I am doing? Unknowingly postponing my own happiness in the future period of time. Now those who postpone their own happiness in the future period of time, they have accepted in the present they are miserable. So don't do anything to get happiness, but let every action be an expression of happiness. you have learnt everything in life. More than this, there is nothing more to be learned. Don't we like anybody who is happy? See? Suppose you are sitting in somebody's car and in the most Tesla, latest model. Oh, so nice it is, you know. You can see from all sides, you don't have to worry how much the car is next to here, left, everything is so nice, so good, and wow, 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 wow. You like it. If that car becomes yours, oh, nice. In the same manner, we like a happy person, isn't it? But if you remain happy, then you will stop seeking happiness. Then happiness will be expressed through you. And that happiness is not laughing club. Happiness is living at zero complaint level. No complaint. These are the signs of evolution. Gita says, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na shochati na kamshati. Samaha sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labate param. The one who is in the proximity of the divine is always prasannatma, cheerful, doesn't bring the dirty past in the present, never tries to solve the non-existing problem of the future, and therefore he is at peace with himself. And a person who is at peace with himself is at peace with the whole world. See, friends, you see all the great masters. And this remaining in peace means what? Can we practice it? Is it experience right now, next 2 minutes? First, do not talk to yourself. And second, listen to silence together. Over, if you were able to practice this, don't talk to yourself and listen to silence. What is happening? This I'll tell you and conclude. Mind expresses as words. Without words, you cannot think. Try to think without using words. So when you stop talking to yourself and when you start listening to silence, you transcend the words. By then, you transcend the mind. And you come back to your divine self. Give it a try every day. Start with a small dose and be happy. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम।